The British retirement landscape has officially hit a breaking point in 2026, and if you are currently holding a private pension pot, you are standing on the edge of a massive tax trap that most people will not see coming until their bank balance takes a hit. We are witnessing the end of the golden era of pension tax efficiency. For decades, the pension was the ultimate safe haven, a way to grow your wealth and pass it on to your family without the taxman taking a massive slice. But as of this year, the rules have been rewritten in a way that specifically targets those who have done the right thing by saving. The most urgent issue you face right now is a ticking clock on your inheritance. For the first time in modern history, the government is moving to include unused pension pots within your taxable estate. This means that from April 2027, your hard-earned savings could be hit with a 40% inheritance tax charge before your children or grandchildren see a single penny. If your total estate, including your home and your pension, exceeds the threshold of £325,000, or £1 million for a married couple with a residence, you are now in the crosshairs of a 40% tax rate. This is why financial experts are quietly whispering that you must consider withdrawing specific amounts now, while you still have the flexibility to move that wealth into safer vessels like trusts or gifts that sit outside the taxman's reach. Beyond the threat to your legacy, there is a much more immediate danger to your monthly income caused by the absolute chaos of the current HMRC automated systems. In 2026, the tax office is using a predictive algorithm that is fundamentally broken for retirees. If you decide to take a slightly larger withdrawal this month to cover a new car or a holiday, the system does not see a one-off payment. Instead, it assumes this is your new permanent monthly salary. If you take out £5,000, the computer calculates your tax as if you were earning £60,000 a year. It immediately triggers an emergency tax code like 1257L month 1, which ignores your tax-free allowance and slaps a massive deduction on your money. We are seeing cases where pensioners expect £4,000 but receive only £2,800 because of this administrative glitch. This is a £1,200 hit in a single month. Because these emergency codes often stick to your account for the rest of the year, you could continue losing hundreds of pounds every single month until you manually intervene. You cannot afford to wait for HMRC to realize their mistake, because they won't. You have to be the one to log into your digital tax account and force a recalculation by updating your estimated income to reflect the truth, not the algorithm's guess. We also have to talk about the silent thief known as fiscal drag, which has become a monster in 2026. The government has frozen the personal allowance at £12,570 until at least 2031. Meanwhile, the state pension has just seen a bumper increase of 4.8% under the triple lock, pushing the full new state pension to approximately £12,548 a year. Do you see the problem? The gap between your state pension and the point at which you start paying tax is now less than £30. For millions of people, their state pension now consumes almost 100% of their tax-free allowance. If you have even a tiny private pension paying you £200 a month, every single penny of that is now taxable. There is no longer any margin for error. If HMRC accidentally allocates your tax-free allowance to a small frozen pension you haven't touched in years, they will start taxing your main income from the very first pound. This misallocation is costing retirees thousands of pounds in unnecessary payments that could have been avoided with a simple request to pool their allowances into one single income stream. The complexity does not stop there. If you are planning to use the pension freedom rules to take a lump sum, you need to be aware of the £268,275 limit. This is the maximum tax-free lump sum most people can take in their lifetime. In the current economic climate, there is growing concern that this ceiling could be lowered in future budgets to raise more revenue. If you have a large pot, taking your 25% tax-free portion now could lock in that benefit before the goalposts are moved again. However, if you do this, you must use the correct statutory refund forms like the P55 or P53Z. If you don't, HMRC will hold on to your overpaid tax for up to a year until the end-of-year reconciliation. In 2026, waiting 12 months for a £3,000 refund is a financial disaster for anyone on a fixed income. You have to be proactive, file the digital forms immediately, and demand your money back within 30 days. The psychological toll of navigating this system is immense. We are living in an era where you can no longer trust that the brown envelope from the tax office is correct. The system is designed for the government's cash flow, not your financial security. You are being forced to act as your own auditor, constantly checking your P60, monitoring your K codes, and ensuring your marriage allowance hasn't been wiped out by a state pension increase. If you are married and one of you earns less than £12,570, you can transfer £1,260 of allowance to your partner, saving £252 a year. But the moment that state pension increase pushes the lower earner over the threshold, that saving vanishes and can actually trigger a tax debt if not reported. The message for 2026 is clear. The era of set and forget retirement is over. You must monitor your tax code every quarter, challenge every emergency marker, and move your wealth strategically before the April 2027 inheritance tax changes lock your family out of their inheritance. The money in your pension pot belongs to you, but unless you understand these rules and act before it is too late, a significant portion of it will end up in the hands of the Treasury.